Yeah, T88, I definitely feel for you there. It's sometimes the bitter part of the randomizer is that it gives and takes away, and sometimes not in your favor. When you see a huge misplay later, or when you realize what had actually happened, that is the worst feeling in the world. And when you don't have knowledge, obviously that's a big problem. And how do you know? You know, sometimes it's just too late. But you know, a lot of great plays that we've seen so far. Growl Seed, I have rolled both of these. I don't know what happened that last one, but I'm hoping that we can make it up here because I'd like to see that too, and hopefully, you know, give our runners a little bit more of a challenge here. I mean, yeah, we haven't seen 5-9. We haven't seen a really complicated 7-5. I mean, the one we had was pretty basic. I'd like to see a cheap and 7-5. I'd like to see a 5-9 come out. I think that needs to be a thing. Required 6-6, maybe off the bat, 7-6, 7-1. Personally, no, we haven't had those in a while. And World 5, that'd be a great way to do it. So looks like we're going to get 4-3 to start. That's no big deal here. 5-9 with Boss Bass win. I don't think that's actually a possibility, but I love the way you think. I would love to see that because that's gnarly. I would not want to play that. Or 7F2 with Boss Bass. That could be fun. But yeah, Primetime Mike with the right guess here of World 5. Very nicely done. And as we do take to the skies in this first one, HaxorR having just a little bit of a glitch there. It looked like he started to slide when he wasn't supposed to, but is able to get through and no problem at all. The HaxorR now close behind MidiGuy here, as both do go for the first mushroom they can find in 6-1, and I can't say that I blame them at all. 6-1 does a good job of having some items if you know where to look, and it looks like they both do know where to look as they come out with a tail on either side, as the Koopas are big, but really just not a problem at all. Bowser's Castle Boss Bass. Man, I love the way you guys think. I've also been vying for them to get a Boom Boom timer randomizer, where Boom Boom, in between his fight, or in between his hits, like, I don't care if you change the randomized hits, whatever, that's fine, I don't care. But randomize the time, because these guys know the timing so well, they could jump before Boom Boom's done anything and still be okay, because they know exactly what the timing is. I think we throw that off. That's what I want. But anyway, that's just me. We'll have to wait and come on. We'll have to wait and see if that comes out at some point. HaxorR now working through the tower. MidiGuyDP hot on his heels as the cheap does come out, but just not going to be a factor here, as both runners are easy peasy lemon squeezer right through this. No problem at all. Other tower not going to be a thing. It's just not going to be a factor here at all. The HaxorR doing his best to get through without any further damage. He is able to do so, and the first hammer comes out for both of our runners. So now, moving into the 7 panel, we'll have to wait and see what that is, as Atlantis. Our runners are now going to have to play one of the 2 auto-scrollers that are still in the game. This is Atlantis. This cannot be un-auto-scrolled because it would actually break the game. And now our runners find themselves in the absolutely peculiar predicament of being in Atlantis, which is going to take time. So up to this point, they've been doing a very good job of keeping up and, you know, blowing through these levels and everything, blah, blah, blah. But now they got to slow down, smell the flowers, have some sushi while you're at it. And now the fun does begin. Very nice. So 5-9 and HaxorR, or I'm sorry, 5-9 and Atlantis, the level that HaxorR and MidiGuy find themselves in, is required. I mean, it is absolutely required, which is something that we love to see. And it is an auto-scroller. And who doesn't love a good auto-scroller when it comes down to being required? I mean, this is absolutely great. Nobly, absolutely right. It's starting to look like one of my seeds. And you know, it's about time. You know, after one that was that close in just over 30 minutes, I mean, come on, forget about it. SpeedGaming 6, welcome to an absolute mind-numbing race that we have so far. Atlantis, the evil auto-scroller, has just been played on both sides for our runners. This is the second of the 2 races in just a little bit, and we'll have to wait and see if MidiGuy is able to force that game 3 or if we crown the TheHaxor the winner, and he will be the one taking on Teaks88. We'll have to wait and see, of course, for that, as both of our runners are now in 1-6 and just doing their best to get through as quickly as possible. TheHaxor with a slight lead, but that means nothing in the world of the SMB3 randomizer. Atlantis required seed. What a great place to be. SpeedGaming 2, welcome to the best of 3 that we have for you tonight on the SMB3 randomizer tournament. Hopefully your seed and your tournament race that you just came from was wonderful as well. This has been an absolutely scintillating run so far, as the TheHaxor sniped a 5-second victory over MidiGuyDP in the last race, which really just came down to one clip being missed. So far, a very exciting race. We just had World 5, and now we are going into the next world. Take a guess for what that is. 1 through 7. Obviously not 5, but yes, 5 seconds. Absolutely. It was 30:45 to 30:50. Yeah, 30:50. And it was absolutely extremely close. It was a nail biter. It was absolutely a nail biter. That is for sure. World 7 has come up now, and an immediate fortress is required. 5F2 on the side of our runners. Oh, MidiGuyDP thinking about using that hammer there. Says, hey, how do I feel about this? It's not necessarily the lock that's associated with 5F2, because we do have two pipes on this first island that I like to call North America because it reminds me of a world map. So TheHaxor just moments ahead, as MidiGuy took just a little bit of time thinking about what he wanted his path to be, and it is not a required, or it is not the pipe that breaks that. Wow, it is not the fortress that breaks that lock. So if MidiGuy is still thinking about it, it could still be required though, because if that pipe takes them to the promised land, and on the 4 pipes that are over there, they're all just broken pipes, or there's only 1 or maybe 2 pipes over there, that could still be a required pipe. So if MidiGuy made that play, and that ends up being the route that they have to take, he would have a huge advantage, especially after playing 5F2, because if that built a bridge or broke a lock that was on that 3rd island, then that means that he won't have to worry about it. Yes, the pipe that breaks that lock, that is the technical term for it. That is absolutely true, because if you use a pipe well enough, your lock will break quickly enough. Just let that sink in a little bit. Meanwhile, the TheHaxor is trying to figure out this pipe maze, and MidiGuyDP just hot on his tail, trying to figure out where he wants to go next. So, okay, it looks like an open 3rd island. We'll see if we have any form of divergence here. MidiGuy about to find the penthouse, just as we saw the TheHaxor do. And there is nothing on his side that's going to, or on either side, that's going to prevent our runners from moving on. Okay, if TheHaxor or MidiGuy had actually used that pipe, or had used the pipe to break the lock, I'm doing it again. If they had used the hammer to break that lock, they actually would have wasted it, because that had saved no time, except for maybe a level. But they probably would have gone back and played that pipe anyway, because you don't know at that point. It's starting to sound like Animal Crossing in here. We've got Mario downing 10 mushrooms, lifts the pipe out of the ground, and smashes the lock. I love it. Very nice. MidiGuyDP avoiding the fanfare, and TheHaxor now finally finding the 3rd island. He'll be going and finding the castle in just a moment. That other fortress, not a requirement. It could be a World 5 fortress. It could be a World 1 fortress. We don't know. We don't care. We're going to be moving on to the fight with Ludwig here in just moments, as our runners do blow through their levels as quickly as they possibly can. I agree absolutely 100%. Good call not using the hammer. MidiGuy must have gone with his gut, which I think is a very good decision. And now TheHaxor using a star to get through this piranha plant stage, and he will of course be awarded an item for his efforts as he gets ready to fight the ever-loving Ludwig von Koopa, the conductor of calamity. The Symphony of Sickness is written by Ludwig von Koopa, and it is time for him to come out once again in our races here. So MidiGuyDP now hot on the tail of TheHaxor, and no pun intended, as the TheHaxor does now have a tail. Both runners utilizing a P-speed strat because we did turn off the auto scrollers, so might as well, right? We have it, so you can go fast, might as well go fast. Now a tail on the side of MidiGuyDP, and TheHaxor already through the fight. Not a terribly complicated Ludwig von Koopa, as he is one hit and a quit, and that's it. He's the one-hit wonder this time. He had one big show, and that's all. And don't you know, until next time, when we face the Maestro of Mayhem next time. Anyway, we'll come back to that in just a little bit. The TheHaxor versus MidiGuyDP, so close, so absolutely close. Now we have 2 fortresses at least in World 4. So this is going to be interesting to see for sure. We have a fortress on the top right, which it looks like the TheHaxor is going to go play now. And then we also have a fortress on the left, which is where 4F2 normally would be. So 7F2 does come out for the TheHaxor. First time we've seen that this game, this matchup between these 2 runners. I love it personally. I'm so happy that we get some of these better levels out. And TheHaxor now disappointed with that piranha. Says, hey, that's an illegal shot, ref. You can't do that. But piranhas don't play by the rules, and TheHaxor now able to find a star. That should guarantee some safety. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a divergence. MidiGuyDP said, hey, I want to play the fort on the left. TheHaxor going to play the fort on the right. I think MidiGuyDP is in a really good place here. Oh, I spoke too soon. Commentators curse. Or comments. I mean, I'm just saying stuff, and they're the ones actually playing. But anyway, MidiGuyDP trying to get through these, big old Koopa Troopas, and able to get through without any further damage. But if he was able to utilize that tail in this next one, I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to be in Fort Knox 7F1 here in just a moment. TheHaxor says, you know what? There's a Hammer Brother over there. I want to play that. So yeah, the huge enemies here, the Dukes of Devastation, the Dukas. I should know what that is. And yes, of Devastation is down. Absolutely. About time, too. So now it is going to be any... Oh, the TheHaxor has guessed wrong. Once again, MidiGuyDP is in the lead for the first time this match. He has taken a commanding lead over this game. And now he's going to be moving on to the fight with Iggy Von Koopa. I'm just kidding. I just want to say Von Koopa at the end of all of them now because that's a lot of fun. Meanwhile, TheHaxor does take down another Boomerang Brother. MidiGuy takes a mushroom in World 1's airship, and he's going to be fighting Iggy in just one moment. Paul Dukas, the composer of the symphony called The Sorcerer's Apprentice. No kidding. Today I learned something new. Thank you for that. I will have to go back and look at that now. TheHaxor now into World 1-4, where there is no auto-scroller, and if he went for all the coins in this level, he would be awarded a white mushroom house in the vanilla game. I think it's also a thing in Randomizer. I should look at that at some point. But anyway, he would be awarded a white mushroom house that has a P-wing, I believe. I don't know if that's randomized. I should go back and find that. TheHaxor believes this to be 7F1 in terms of him using a P-wing here, but unfortunately for him, that is not the case, and that P-wing is not going to be necessary except for the P-speed, and he will be finishing off 3F1 in just moments. It has been years since I've seen that movie, so I will have to go back now and watch that because that is a nice bit of trivia. And today I learned something new. So there you go. Watching SMB3 Randomizer and learning about new symphonies from our, well, some of our childhoods anyway. So TheHaxor now able to take a Fire Flower into the fight with Iggy. And World 6 does come up for MidiGuyDP. I find it interesting he's not played that Fortress yet. I think he's playing a game of, hey, prove that you need this. Or that he needs to play it. But I gotta say, this is a little interesting here. He's going to take on a Hammer Brother, which is going to be a Sledge Brother, and unfortunately does not get through without taking further damage. And he is going to have to wait and see what happens. Meanwhile, he is in a marathon, and the TheHaxor doing his best to catch up. The Sledge Brothers once again have entered the arena, this time in a grassy knoll, and MidiGuy just having to time this a little bit carefully, because he does have Sledge Brothers who want blood this time. They are down. He is out. and a hammer comes up on the side of MidiGuyDP. That is going to be a big help in the time to come. MidiGuyDP now looking through the tunnel has not even gone after that fortress yet. Okay, this is interesting for sure. He has no free lands to Lemmy. He is going to have to come down and play a couple of extra levels here before he'll get the option of knowing if the fortress is required or not. So I wonder if we're going to get any kind of divergence. Looks like TheHaxor has not diverged yet, and I don't think he will. So these runners not convinced the fortress is required, and in an effort to play no further levels than they have to, both have skipped this fortress so far, and now both of our runners do have an extra hammer. So they're both going to have 2 hammers, I do believe, and that's going to come out to play here momentarily, I am sure. But of course, there's going to be a bit to play before we get any more answers, as there's just a lot of levels. Speaking of levels, we have not seen 5-9 yet tonight, and I, for one, am disappointed. I think they should play it, but that's just me. Anyway, 7-9 also hasn't come up either. That tends to be a bit of a long one, so I am very curious to see what happens. I mean, we do have quite a few levels here. 15 minutes in, and we're only on World 4. Last time, it was 18.5 at World 6, I believe. So this one's going to take a little bit longer for our runners, which is evidenced by Atlantis and some of the other levels we have seen thus far. MidiGuyDP now doing his absolute best to keep the lead here, but unfortunately the Hammer Brothers have some differences in opinions. Now, MidiGuy has found himself in another beta level, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, TheHaxor is going to be going through his as quickly as he can possibly swim. MidiGuy doing a beautiful job at just getting burned through here, and Lakitu is just not going to be able to catch up with our fantastic speedrunner. And TheHaxor still swimming. And just unfortunately, these levels do not allow you to go a whole lot faster unless you're a frog suit. But our frog suits do not come around all that often. And MidiGuy has found out a bridge is required, but the fortress is still left to be found. MidiGuy realizes it cannot be this one because World 1's fortress cannot be a route required. Now the TheHaxor is going back, decides, hey, I don't have all the knowledge yet, but I'm pretty sure that fortress was required. So he's going to go back and play this fortress as well. Kind of curious, a little bit of information there that he did get. But both of our runners now into 6F2. MidiGuyDP getting caught up in a block, but was able to let himself down easily. If that was just a tail and not a P-wing, he would have been in trouble there. So great play from MidiGuy to keep himself safe, and a good choice in items, because that would have been a problem if not. So now TheHaxor with a Fire Brother, he will take down Boom Boom just a little bit quicker. Not going to matter though. MidiGuy was even faster getting through the fortress itself. So now MidiGuyDP already with the path to the castle all lined up, and the TheHaxor does, I believe, have another level here that he's going to have to play. So about a level difference between these two runners now, as MidiGuy is looking for a fight with the conniving I want to call him like the carnivorous, but that doesn't really work. It's carny. It's a carny, somebody that works in a carnival. It's carny. So anyway, the conniving, crazy carny that we have bouncing on the ball is going to be coming out in a relatively easy arena for our runners. It's not going to be too terribly complicated. Lemmy doesn't even move from a sweet spot as he is taken down in 2, and the TheHaxor now is going to be trying to catch up as well. And with that Fire Flower, it will actually take longer to go for a fire kill here as it would to jump on his head twice. So we'll wait and see if he goes for some kind of hybrid, as we usually see the TheHaxor do. 4, 5, 7, and 6 have been played already, and now we are coming up to either 3, 2, or 1. Get your guesses in chat. What do you think? 2 it is. 2 has come out to play yet again. No free pipes this time. MidiGuy finds himself in 4F1, and that is going to be required. So interesting to see how this is going to play out for our runners. It's going to be a bit of a grind fest. We've seen that just a few times. And yes, very good, Shark Kid. You guessed right. After I said it late, but well done. Well done. Very good job. We'll still count it. So anyway, MidiGuyDP now into 4F1 that he is trying to get through, and he has taken out Boom Boom for the, I don't know, probably 22nd time tonight. But nonetheless, our runners are going to be getting through this as quickly as they can, because really at this point, they just have a lot of levels to burn through still. There's a lot going on in this world too, and they're just going to have to take it as it comes, unfortunately. I mean, there's a lot left to play here. We still have 1 and we still have 3. Both could be very good places to use a hammer on a lock or a rock. 3 and 2 both have places where the rocks could be a factor. Our runners do still have 2 hammers apiece, I do believe, which I think is going to be interesting to see how that plays out. The pipe, obviously not going to be a factor. MidiGuy finds the first hand stage, so I'm kind of curious to see what happens here. If he gets, or whatever item he gets here will be the same in all 3 of the levels, and if we find any more. So Tanuki Suit does come out, and TheHaxor, with a beautiful 4F1 just a moment ago, is going to be going through the hand stage as well. 3 hammers on the side of MidiGuyDP, -1 as he does break the rock, I think is a great call, as he does not want to have to play more levels than he is required to. And TheHaxor with an abundance will also take the same play, and he will also play the exact same Hammer Brother. So we'll get another music box on his side, and our runners are going to be going on to the pyramid level, which has the right icon, but not the right level. So our runners are going to be getting through this as quickly as they possibly can, and about a half level difference now between our 2 runners. This game is getting extremely tight still, and we expected that. I mean, we came down to like 3 or 4 leadership changes multiple times in a row last game. I expect nothing else here. Now MidiGuy, the first into the World 2's airship in World 2, actually. So thank you, Fred, for that. We do appreciate it. If you do randomize it enough, it will go back to normal. So MidiGuyDP is now into his fight with the ever salty Morton, who looks to be a bit of a tinky boy this time. He's got the earthquake, and MidiGuyDP does have a fire kill after 3 hits on the head, so that is a beefy Morton, and he is a salty one tonight. Now we are going to be moving on to either 1 or 3, and just not a whole lot left in this game, but it is still, of course, anybody's game. TheHaxor coming back from behind just a little bit in the last game. MidiGuyDP now just looking to extend his lead as best he can, and hopefully he does. You know, TheHaxor is nothing to sneer at. I mean, he is a great runner, but MidiGuy is also a fantastic runner in his own right. So, okay. It looks like theoretically there is a double rock play here. So you could either call for a double rock play, or you could try to hold on to your hammers and hope that there's a play later on in World 3 and World 1, or possibly World 8. So, oh, we called it, and this is happening. It looks like MidiGuy is going to go ahead and go for the rocks. Oh my goodness. So is TheHaxor. They both saw that there was 3 levels that can be skipped, and 1 fortress that they don't know what is behind. So, wow, what an interesting play. TheHaxor and MidiGuy both opting to do really the exact same strategies here. We basically have a sync at this point. Oh my goodness! That is going to spell the end of World 3 for MidiGuy. Now he's just picking out which suit he wants. He's going to be going for a Tanuki command. We'll see if he does get it. Wendy tends to have a lot of other opinions. Absolutely incredible here, as MidiGuy is now blowing through World 6's airship. Great choice in items. I absolutely agree. World 6, if he doesn't get this clip, he did not. TheHaxor did not. He's going to have to go the bottom route. So now MidiGuy is going to be able to extend his lead just a little bit. No Tanuki command. We'll still do it in heart because it made almost the entire distance. and the Haxor now looking to pick a fight with Windy, and he has an ally that he likes, so he's going to be going for that fire kill, and less than 15 seconds does split our two runners. Get your guesses in. Okay, we got Limpai, who is going for World 1. I think I'm also going to go World 1 here. We'll see if World 1 does come up next. And then, of course, we'll have World 8 after that. So get your guesses into chat for the last time before World 8. 1, or I think that's it. Yeah, there we go. 1 it is. And it looks like a, oh, ew. It is a 3-fort World 1. So you're playing at least 2 fortresses here. 3F2 that might build a bridge. And then, of course, you'll have, or I'm sorry, no, you'll have, oh, this is anybody's guess. If this does not break the lock up top, and it breaks the one underneath, and you have to go play that fortress to unlock the other one to actually go forward, this is going to get interesting. Like if the one on the bottom breaks the one up top, and this one breaks the one on bottom, and neither build the bridge, and that third fortress does build the bridge, this is crazy confusing, but this is a good possibility that this could be a... Okay. It looks like all 3 fortresses are required still. Wow. So there's a couple ways that could happen. And yeah, sure enough, World 1 is going to require 3 fortresses, because why not? Six F3 on both of our runner sides. And Haxor still trying to go for a peace speed strat there. Unfortunately, does lose that Fire Brother suit, but that does mean that MidiGuy will be through a bit quicker than the Haxor, and Haxor cannot gain any more time here unless he goes for a peace speed strat, but there's no Fire Brother suit, so small gain. And now Haxor has cleared the way for panel 6, has a fortress, and then he will be moving on to the fortress as well, or the air castle, I mean. So at this point, MidiGuyDP has taken about a half a level advantage, which is not a lot, especially going into World 8. So 2 things that MidiGuy could be looking for is a right guess, obviously, no surprise there, or a very linear World 8 where he makes some really good plays. There's no hammers left in the arsenal. There's no further place for them to use that. Even now, if they had the hammers here, I don't think they'd be able to use them that well anyway. So a crazy World 1, MidiGuyDP utilizing that tail that he has, and he'll be able to go through the takes as quickly as he gets into them. Very nicely done on his side. Haxor's going to be looking for something similar, but he won't be able to take the top route. So that is going to be just a little bit more of a time save, I think, on the side of MidiGuyDP. So very nicely done on his side. And now the bridge is built. The Hammer Brother left to play. Just kidding. Oh, okay. No, I thought he might have put him to sleep. He says, you know what? I could use another item before I go on. So a P-Wing on the side of MidiGuyDP, a very good choice indeed, as he did just use the both of those. Now MidiGuy finds himself in World 7's airship with a tail. Not a bad place to be. Haxor does not have that extra P-Wing, but his item inventory was looking pretty good. And okay, it looks like MidiGuyDP will lose his time here. His leadership has just been lost to the Haxor, who is utilizing that P-Speed strat, whereas MidiGuyDP was playing it just a little bit more conservatively. So now the Haxor will be the first going into World 8, and the MidiGuy will be right behind him as he takes the second shot. So now a difference of 27.38 to 27.39.5. We have about a 1 to 2 second variation between the two of these runners. So get your guesses in chat now as to what you think the bridges to Bowser is going to be. And all I can say is I hope that MidiGuy gets the clips this time, because I really want to see a game 3. That's all I'm going to say, is I'd sure like to see a game 3. I don't care who wins it overall, but this has been an exciting race so far, and I'm sure hoping for game 3. So anyway, Haxor, both MidiGuy and Haxor get a P-Wing there, and a pipe to start. So both runners going to be taking the same pipe. We'll see if they can get a little bit of information that they need. Both runners, okay, take one look at the hands and say, no, not yet. And they're going to be looking at every one of these pipes so far. Okay, the Haxor looking at a tank That is not going to be required, so I fully expect both of our runners to take early exits out of this level. They will do so, and then of course we'll go back to the lava lake and we'll decide if they have something on the other side that they can use here. Both TheHaxor and MidiGuy. Oh, if you're going to find a level in the hand stage, this is not necessarily one you want to find. This is not a terribly easy level to get out of quickly, so we'll expect both of our runners to go ahead and just play through it and not have to deal with it again, because this is a pretty complicated one to try to get in and out of quickly. So it looks like both runners will play through it, and they have done so nicely. So very good job on both of their sides. Very well done indeed. And both of our runners now moving on to the pipe that has been hidden from them so far. So now MidiGuy and TheHaxor neck and neck here. I mean, we're seconds apart at best. A very linear world 8 so far. A risky play would have been to go after that fortress in the very beginning. Terribly sorry about that. .5F1 being just a little bit of a problem for MidiGuy. TheHaxor able to dispense with it, no problems at all. And now our runners are just another 5 seconds away from each other. Oh, what a crazy World 8. So this is going to open up a lock in the beginning. So now our runners are going to have to go all the way back, play both of the levels that are currently on the hand stage, play that fortress that's over on the right-hand side to break the lock in the dark room. Oh, this is going to be a lot of back and forth. I think they're both happy at this point, or at least content, that they don't have to worry about that hand stage any longer. But 2-4 does come up on both sides of our runner screens, and TheHaxor having a little bit of a problem with a Paragoomba, but oh, MidiGuy able to utilize a shell to get a star, and that does mean he'll be able to get through this a little bit quicker, not fearing for any of the Hammer brothers he will come into contact with. So now both of our runners through 2-4 on to 5-4. Just kidding, 5-5. So 5-5 on the side of our runners, and not a terrible level to get if you're looking for some power-ups. There's like 3 along the main road that's actually relatively easy to get to, honestly, and our runners, no strangers to this, will be burning through it just as quickly as they get into it. So now the fort that is required here is the Air Force for our runners to continue on. And absolutely, if Midi can keep the fire flower here, TheHaxor has no way of getting one back. That's going to spell a big... Oh! TheHaxor with a death! An absolute rare occasion. You do not see that often from TheHaxor at all. That just goes to show how terrible the randomizer can be to even the most experienced veteran runners. And MidiGuy with that fire flower kill does mean that he's able to get through extremely quick. Well played indeed. So now this will open up another path. MidiGuyDP looking for a very linear world 8 so far. He'll be running back and saying, hey, what's in the dark world for me now? So now we have another fortress that is going to be coming out to play here in just one moment. And there is the possibility that it could break the lock on this. There is no lock that is required in front of Bowser's Castle. There will be no bridges. We saw 4 locks. Literally all we're looking for at this point is where on earth is Bowser's Castle. MidiGuyDP has now located the final route to Bowser. TheHaxor still in the realm of looking for where Bowser is. MidiGuyDP, go for the gold, man. Get the... Okay, first clip is good. He is at the top of the escalator. TheHaxor is still frantically looking for Bowser's Castle. He has located it. He does not have a weapon. He does not have an attack. So he will have to wait and go for a slower kill on this. MidiGuy, it's his! It is his! MidiGuyDP is going to seal it with this. He is going to be able to get into Bowser's Castle first. Can he get 35 fireballs off? Is he going to be able to seal this one? We are going to have to answer that in just one moment. Haxor takes the Anyman's clip. No big deal. No problem at all. MidiGuyDP, he is well on his way, blowing the fireballs just as quickly as he can. He does not seal it. He's going to have to go for the slower route. Oh my goodness. Yes, both of these runners are playing on the exact same seat. Now MidiGuyDP opts to go for a small Bowser or a small Mario. He should still be okay unless there's a small problem here. We're going to have to wait and see for sure in just moments. Now TheHaxor is finally able to get the mac and cheese clip. MidiGuyDP, one last shot. No further issues. There are no further issues. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, race fans of all ages, get your GGs into chat for an outstanding comeback kill from MidiGuyDP, who was able to seal it this time, was able to take out the win, was able to beat the Air Force on the first try, was able to resist all of the problems, and was finally able to come out with a much-needed, well-deserved win. Kudos to MidiGuyDP. Kudos to TheHaxor, who's finishing up his shot here in just one moment. He's going to be taking down Bowser just momentarily, and I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself for that Air Force, which is highly unfortunate. A small problem. The clipped worked for Haxor after he yelled at it. Sometimes we have to yell at things lovingly, obviously, cars and computers and things like that we're working on, just to, I don't know, make us feel better, I think. But anyway, so the end times for that race was 34:37 on the side of MidiGuyDP versus TheHaxor at 35:19. Well played indeed. Get your GGs in again. Good night. What an incredible, incredible race. The runners are going to be getting set up here for one more run, best of 3, and we are nearly at 3, folks. MidiGuyDP putting on a gorgeous comeback at the very end, absolutely insane. Haxor is, he's a great runner, absolutely great runner. Both guys did such a great job that time, and this time it just went to MidiGuyDP. He was able to get a couple of clips. Which I think if TheHaxor had the same luck, he would have been a little bit behind nonetheless, because those extra clips are what cost MidiGuy the first game. Haxor had a little bit of a problem with it this time, and beautifully played. Absolutely, Chelsea, but I cannot say anything more about it than that. Just absolutely exceptional. These guys, they've fought hard to get here. They've had some absolutely terrific races so far in this entire tournament. You look at the guys that these guys have played so far. Haxor went down to against Human Mustard, who is sensational. He's going to be playing later tonight, and that's going to be an absolutely extraordinary game. That's Human Mustard versus DLP 316. That's going to be shortly after this race. We're entering Game 3 now, and we're entering Game 3 now. Game 1 of Human Mustard versus DLP 316 will be right here. So go grab dinner, go do dishes, do whatever you need to do, and then come back, because you're not going to want to miss it. That's at 10:35 Eastern, right here on SpeedGaming 3. Our very own Sharkid's going to be commentating that, and it's going to be an insane matchup for sure. These guys are both huge veterans of the game. They've been playing it since they were young. Huge fans of the SMB3 game in general, Randomizer, all that. So we're definitely going to be looking forward to that. Do tune in, because Human Mustard's looking to take down DLP to get another shot at Stewie Carmen in the final, honestly, and that's who he lost to previously. And what a race that's going to be. And then TheHaxor, TheHaxor fell to Human Mustard in the winners quarterfinal, and then MidiGuyDP, talking about Stewie Cartman, had actually fallen to Stewie Cartman in the winners quarterfinal as well. So that is, just where these guys have come from, and neither of those guys are anything to sneer at. They are incredibly gifted runners. Stewie Cartman went 2-0 over Human Mustard, and then lost 2-0 to Pro A007, and Stewie Cartman's looking for another shot at Pro A. He's currently waiting in the loser's final bracket. He was the last of the winners final, like he lost in the winners final. Therefore, he's going to be looking for another shot at redemption, and he's going to have a path to go because we got the TheHaxor taking on MidiGuyDP. Winner of this goes to play Teeks88. Winner of that goes to play the winner of the next race tonight, and then the winner of that goes to play Stewie Cartman, and then the winner of that goes to play Pro A007 for the grand final. If you're not confused yet, well played, because this has been an incredible tournament. It's had a lot of twists and turns. It's had a lot of excitement to it so far, and I fully expect this game 3 to be another nail clincher for sure. Nail biter, a clincher, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be great. So we do have just another couple minutes before our runners do get started. We like to give them a little bit of a break as we get our runners ready for the next round. And after these two races, I mean, it has been a little bit of disappointment on both sides for both runners. First game, MidiGuyDP missed that clip, and TheHaxor was able to get it. That was the end of that. Second game, MidiGuyDP with a fire flower, unfortunately wasn't able to get exactly what he was looking for. Had to go the long way. Still able to finally finish it off, though. And he was able to carry on and take the win in a much needed way after that second round, or that second race. So it's anybody's guess as to who's taking this all the way. We have about a minute left before our runners will be getting started. So in the meantime, get your drinks, get your breaks in. Come back here in 45 seconds or so. We'll start playing the world's game as to which world we think will come up first. And maybe let's change it up a little bit. Let's see what world you think is first and what world you think is the first level from. Okay, so we've got a very dicey start so far from Sharkid. World 7 with 7F2 start. That is absolutely maniacal, so I love it. I've got to go with a world 4 with a world 5 level start. But I would like to see Sharkid. If one of us is going to be right, I hope it's Sharkid, because that would be amazing. 7F2 start is diabolical, and I love it. All right, our runners will be getting started here in just moments.